Time now for some NBA playoff action, and it's brought to you by ESPN on EA Sports. I'm Jalen Rose. The Miami Heat are warming up for this contest against the Atlanta Hawks. ESPN's #1 NBA commentary team is ready with the call.
Welcome to Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. It's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals between the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here with another NBA Live My Career gameplay. And today, this is Game 3. We are taking on the Atlanta Hawks, who winning streak just ended last night by the Pelicans. Yeah, it was a good run while it lasted, but let's see what they can do after this loss. Can they bounce back from it? Can they do something? What else can they do? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're consistent, but they're not contenders. Why are they not contenders? Because the Hawks always look like they're ready to contend, but they never really go far in the playoffs. So that's why I don't consider them contenders. It doesn't matter how good you play in the regular season. It always comes down to what are you going to do in the playoffs? What are you going to do for me in the playoffs? Yeah. 19, 18 some win streak. Amazing. Great. You guys went that far, but now it's time to put up or shut up. But now it's time to see what you guys can do in the playoffs, and what are you going to do after All-Star break? Is this team going to still be consistent after All-Star break? Is this team going to fall apart and drop down some spots? Like, what is going to happen with the Hawks? The Hawks were the first team to 30 wins. They did it quietly. They did it quietly, and they did it solidly. I'll admit that. But at the same time, you got to give me something. You know what I'm saying? You got to give me something in the playoffs. You cannot just sit there and you can't go on a lengthy win streak in the regular season and expect me to take you seriously. I don't take these guys seriously. Like, these guys have always had good records in the regular season. There was one time they were the second seed. They finished as the second seed in the Eastern Conference one year. They did do that. I believe they did that. I believe it was I don't know if it was the second seed or the third seed. I don't know if it was either Orlando who took it that year. It was mainly LeBron's last year in Cleveland before he went to Miami. I forgot who was the second seed, who was the first seed. I forgot. I don't know if it was Atlanta or was it Orlando? I don't remember that well. All I know is one of them two teams. I say Atlanta was the second seed. I don't think Orlando was the third seed that year, even though they were a good team that year. But I don't think I think they finished third. I don't remember. So, anyways, though, they finished at a high seed. They've done this before. They finished top 3, top 2 in the Eastern Conference before. It's nothing new to me. The only problem I have with them is, what are you going to do in the playoffs? They always finish at a top. They can always finish as a top seed in the playoffs, but they can always finish as a top seed in the regular season. But what are you going to do for me in the playoffs? That's all I'm asking. I could care less. I could really care less about what I can really care less about a win streak. That does not mean nothing to me. If you sit there and say that's not, you can't really say that. I mean, they went on a night that doesn't do nothing for me. It does nothing for me. Any team can go on a win streak and still get eliminated in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is nothing new to me. Like, listen, this team is consistent, but they're not contenders. It's just they just do not do nothing for me when it's playoff time. Every time we get to the playoffs, they're always either eliminated in the first or second round. That does not impress me. You got to go deeper than that. You got to go conference finals. It's conference finals or bust. And with the Miami Heat team no longer as the big three, now it's just the duo of Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and you got LeBron in Cleveland with the trio of Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, who I don't know what happened. I guess they finally got it through their heads and they're starting to play like an actual team now. I don't know what's going on with the Cavaliers, man. I guess they're finding themselves now. I guess with Shumpert moving into the lineup, I think they're starting to find an identity now, and everybody's starting to notice. Everybody's starting to pick and pop. Everybody's starting to pick their roles, even though Kevin Love is still out of place. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I mean, if anything, if I was Kevin Love, I'd just leave, especially if I feel like I don't fit in. Like, come on, man. Stats ain't nothing like they were in Minnesota. He is really off right now. So Kevin Love, man, I say look for another team, or if you can find yourself throughout the second half of the season, then hey, I guess you can stay. But I mean, if you can't find yourself here, go somewhere else and find yourself somewhere else, man, because I don't like to see a guy like Kevin Love, 7 points a game, 7 points, 10 points, 12 points a game with 7 and 6 rebounds a game. This dude is a triple-double monster. This man can get 20 rebounds with no problem a game. He should literally be having I don't know, man. They need to put him down in the post instead of trying to put him on the elbow, having him take threes and shit. Stop that. That's just me. But anyways, though, like I said with the Atlanta Hawks, man, they're consistent, but they're not contenders. They don't do what they're not what I they're not what you what they they're not what I they're not the team that I expect to go far. That's pretty much that's pretty much my only problem with the Hawks. They're just not that team that can go far. Like I said, man. They're consistent. They will always show up. They will always show up in the playoffs. They'll always have a good. They always have a good regular season race. They'll always be in the playoffs. They haven't missed the playoffs since 2008 till now. They have never missed the playoffs. That team is consistent. The only problem with them is that they do not do anything when it comes to the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, they're a first or second exit. They're first round, second round exit. That's all they are. So I cannot take the Hawks seriously. It's what can you do for me in the playoffs? If they go as far as Eastern Conference Finals, hey, they go in places. But if they get eliminated in the first round or the second round again, they're basically just like the Bulls. They're a regular season team that doesn't do nothing in the playoffs. Like you have a good regular season, but you just don't do shit when it comes playoff time. So I don't care. I don't care what people say, man. Come on, man. The Bulls, but wait a minute, the Bulls ain't like that, man. They gon' ball out. They gonna do their thing, No, they don't. The Bulls are a tease, man. The Bulls have always been a tease to me. Me personally, I feel like the Bulls are always a tease. They never do what I want. They never go as far as you want them to go. You expect so much out of them, but yet they come up so short. They lost to the Wizards in the first round last year. The inexperienced Wizards. They lost to them. You're talking about a team that hasn't seen the playoffs since Gilbert Arenas was on the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like that team the Wizards haven't seen the playoffs since Gilbert Arenas was on the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. You need to tell me that a team that hasn't seen the playoff in almost 2008, 2014, 2008, 2014. That's about a good 5 years. 65 fucking years we haven't seen the fucking Washington Wizards in the goddamn playoffs, and you mean to tell me that? Come on, man. Bulls are teased, man. The Bulls are teased. The Hawks are teased. You want to do something? Take it as far as the take it as far as the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I need to see. I need to see you take it as far as the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not sold on any team right now. That's why I stick with the Heat. That's why I keep sticking with the Heat. I'm not bandwagoning. I'm not dick riding. It's just how I feel. I feel like teams that have consistently got themselves into the playoffs can get back there and do what they do best, and that's get back to the finals. A team like Miami. That's why I keep rolling with them, because they are a team that can actually go far. They have the pieces. They have the coaching. They have everything possible to take them far. I'm not saying that Tom Thibodeau is a bad coach. I'm not saying that Mike Budenholzer is a bad coach. I'm just saying that I take a team that actually goes places over a team that doesn't do nothing when the playoffs roll around. That's just me. I really don't care how anybody feels about that. I don't care how anybody really feels about that. I don't care if I hurt your feelings or not. I don't care. The Hawks are teased. The Bulls are teased. You want to show me something? Take it as far as you can take it. You know what I'm saying? I said the same thing about the Toronto Raptors in the beginning of the season. I said the Toronto Raptors are also a tease. They did not go far. They should have beaten the Brooklyn Nets in 6 games. That should have been a 6-game series, and they should have blown out the Brooklyn Nets. It shouldn't have gone as far as it went. It shouldn't have ended how it ended. Toronto should have been in the second round. That's just how I felt. I felt like Toronto should have been in the second round versus Miami. I wanted to see what Toronto. I wanted to see if Toronto could handle the test. Could Toronto put the pressure on the Heat and take them as far as at least a 6 or 7 game series? Could you do that for me? No, you get eliminated in the first round. Now I consider you a tease. You're not ready. I don't trust them. That's why I don't trust the Toronto Raptors. I don't trust I don't trust I don't trust the Hawks. I don't trust the Bulls. I don't trust these teams. These teams look good, but they don't do nothing when it comes playoff time. So now I'm still looking at a team like the Heat. I'm also looking at a team like the Wizards, who did take it the distance in the playoff, who did take it the distance for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in over 5 to 6 years. They showed me something. They showed me something, and I saw something in them that could take them far. It's just one thing they needed, and I think Paul Pierce was the answer. I think adding Paul Pierce to your squad was definitely the answer, and I think that the Washington Wizards may be in that conference finals, along with a team like probably the Heat. I don't know about the Cavaliers. I'm still not sold on them. Like I said, that group is still inexperienced. Like I said, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving have no playoff experience. They don't know what that atmosphere is like. Only person that knows that atmosphere is like is LeBron and Sean Marion, and pretty much any other player that went from either the Heat, who's either playing on the Heat with LeBron, or who went from the Heat to the Cavaliers with LeBron, knows what that playoff atmosphere is like. And that's my only problem. That team is inexperienced. Adding guys like J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert who do have playoff experience, that's gonna help. So you get rid of a guy like Dion Waiters, that's gonna help. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna help. That's gonna help. But like I said, I still don't trust that team. That team is still inexperienced. Your point guard is still inexperienced. Your power forward is still inexperienced. You got to show me something. You got to show me something come playoff time. I don't know if Timothy Mozgov has been in the playoffs before. I don't know what team. I don't know anything about any of the teams he's playing on. All I know is that he was in Denver and New York, and he got dunked on by Blake Griffin. That's all I know about Timothy Mozgov. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know jack shit about him. So yeah. So I don't know about his playoff experience. I don't know if he's been to the playoffs or not. I don't know. I don't care either. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I don't trust a lot of teams in the East this year. In the West, it's different because that atmosphere is so different. Because any team can come out of the West. You can never predict who comes out the West. But in the East, it's kind of predictable because it's basically just okay. Who has the most experience? Who has the most experience? Who do you feel like has the most momentum and can take it far? You know what I'm saying? Who has that depth? Who has that answer? Who has that answer for last year's debacle? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Wizards, I feel like they answered that call. I don't know about the Cavaliers. That's yet to be seen. The Hawks, the Hawks and the Raptors, I don't trust them. The Bulls, I could see it. I can see it, but I don't know. Because they're always a tease, man. I don't know. They always disappoint me every time the playoffs rolls around. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Tell me what you think. I'll get back to you. Till then, I have to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Hey everyone, it's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Heat won this matchup with a significant margin. They did it with blocks, and they did it with steals. More to the point, they did it with excellent defense. They committed to the grind and got rewarded as a result. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Miami Heat. The Hawks didn't provide the kind of offensive output needed to win a game at the NBA level. So it's imperative that they put this one behind them and start preparing for the next matchup. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Atlanta Hawks.
Game track. Steals.
As you can see in the highlights, this team did a great job of staying competitive and putting in the necessary effort to get the win. And here we have a look at the game stats.
Player of the game.
And now, of course, the stats.
Who was cold?
Jeff Teague wasn't much of an offensive threat in today's matchup. As the game wore on, his shot attempts became questionable. He might have a tough time explaining his shot selection to the reporters. And here's a look at his stat line. This has been a presentation of ESPN on EA Sports. Until next time, I'm Jalen Rose, signing off.